Okay. Well, we'll see which one that I do.
You can do whatever you want.
Fuck that thing. What's up? Wait, I have to compose. Five. Devon! Get the tables!
The most over thing in wrestling. Tables.
Yeah.
Changed my mind.
I want to thank my co-host, or the other host. I hate saying co-host, because co-host implies that one host is over the other. But I like to think, I think so sometimes. I think it does at times. Not necessarily, but it can.
Fair.
It doesn't have to, but it can. You feel me? Anyway, no, I like to thank the other host of the show for giving me that one, because I had a different one. And I don't know, I just went ahead and did that one. I'm not going to say one is better than the other, but one is definitely more known than the other over time. Because I was going to do DTA, Don't Trust Anybody, which was Stone Cold's thing for a little bit of time. But anyway, for those of you all who are like, hey, who are these dudes who randomly talk about wrestling catchphrases? This is the Whatever We Want podcast. And I am one of the hosts, like I said, of the show. I go by the name of Jazz or Superjaz.
Superjaz.
The trick is to not pause and wait, because when I pause and wait, that's when you probably don't do it, as nature intended. Anyway, Jazz, Superjaz, SJJT, whatever you want, what have you, and the like. And I am joined by...
Well, y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube. And yeah, I just realized I was holding up my drink to the camera while I was talking.
I was talking to your ass,
I
right?
was like, oh yeah, I should probably put that down. But yes, I'm here as well. Why are we here, Jazz?
Well, I was going to say, and yes, thank you, sir. As I always say, this is the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that. We talk about whatever we want. We do not lead this conversation. This conversation leads us, and we let these chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday.
Oh, snap.
Yes,
Look, I didn't keep it going.
Right. So, yeah.
You seem so happy that I didn't keep it going. Were you about to say something, sir?
Well, Jazz, it's that time of year.
Where you're happy or you're upset? Because I know what time of year it is. But are you happy or are you upset?
Porque no los dos, or why not both?
Real quick, we as an American populace need to learn how to say why not both in other languages, so we don't talk. Because everybody always said porque no los dos. How do you say that shit in French? Why not Russian? I'm being stupid for stupid sake.
Pourquoi no les deux?
That actually is, I think, probably accurate.
I mean, it's me literally just bastardizing Spanish into French words. Whether or not it's actually how they say it.
I mean, to an extent, whoever created the language, who's to say?
I mean, English definitely took some shit from everybody.
And then fucking said, here's all the rules of how to speak our language. Oh, just kidding. Like, they say that if English is not your native language, it's one of the hardest languages to learn.
Mm-hmm. I can hear that.
Like,
I can see that.
Like Japanese or some shit.
Japanese, it's easier. The only thing that Japanese becomes hard with is kanji.
What the fuck is kanji?
All right, so they got 3 different types of writing.
Put a pin in what we were talking about from the beginning. Go ahead.
Yeah, they got 3 different types of writing over there. They've got katakana, hiragana, and kanji. So if you're trying to learn how to like write and read in Japanese, you have like 3 different alphabets. Well, you have 2 alphabets and then a whole another fucking language as far as I'm concerned with kanji. So with the katakana and hiragana, they their language, rather than individual letters, each symbol represents like a sound. It's a phonetic type deal.
Yeah, that stuff is very like tonal.
Yeah,
right?
so you have like
Asian languages in general.
ta, te, to, do, de, do, di, that kind of stuff. P and all that or whatever. Katakana, hiragana. There's a lot to learn because you're doing it based off of sounds. At the same time, it gets easier and easier as it goes on because some of them, like, for instance, there's one that looks kind of like a line with a thing pointing out the top of it. It's hard for me to describe it, but it's like pronounced like he or something normally. But if you put like a circle next to it, it's certainly P. And like if you have like two lines instead of that little circle, it's B. So they have like they have a lot of symbols, but some of them are like there's different patterns you can notice. Like if it's a symbol and it's got that little circle over it, it's a P sound. You just got to figure out what vowel it is.
Yeah, and
so like P, pay, poo, po, they're all another thing, but with that circle on it.
It's like a lot of Asian languages, like we have 26 characters in the alphabet that make up every word, but they have like thousands or the hundreds or something.
Okay, so there's about 90 something, I think someone told me, characters for katakana and hiragana each.
Yeah.
And there's like a 1-to-1 where each one, like they both like, katakana ka looks different from the hiragana ka, but they both have the ka sound. Kanji is the like more complex symbols where they technically took like 3 or 4 symbols or words and put them in there, and it can represent one of like 4 different words on that one kanji. And it's already hard to tell which kanji you're looking at as it is, but they can be like, because some words, just like we have homophones and stuff, they have something similar over there where, let's take the word kami, Kami. It can be God, it can be hair, it can be paper, it can be like a bunch of things. However, God, hair, and paper, while they're all kami, I'm pretty sure they all have different kanji to represent it, but it's all pronounced but each of those symbols is still pronounced kami.
That's like I took
so
sign
that's
language.
Where it gets complicated.
I took sign language for like a hot second, and I remember learning like I forget what words these are, and I'm probably gonna like do this wrong as shit, but it was like words rhyme if they're in the same vicinity. I could be so wrong with that, but I think they said something like this was a word and this was a word and then like something like that. But it was like the 3 different words because of like how the gesture is or something. Like somebody's gonna see this and correct the fuck out of me and tell me I'm all.
That is a lot louder than I thought it would be, and I apologize.
That's not bad. But no, somebody's probably going to correct the fuck out of me when they do that. And please do correct the fuck out of me because I would hate to be ignorant and spewing ignorance to people and making all of us more ignorant. But anyway, it was something like... It was something like those 3 words rhyme, even though if you were to speak them into our English language, even though it's, ASL or whatever, but if you were to speak them out loud, those words like don't rhyme at all spoken, but they rhyme in sign language because of how they're signed. And I'm like, I thought that was so interesting. So yeah.
Fair enough. That is cool. It's cool that you can have rhyming words with sign language.
Yeah. Well, it's like all kind of like little stuff that I noticed, like in sign language, because of the fact that like when you perform, and obviously people, they're deaf, so they can't hear, that they have their, I don't know if you know this, but they have, now this I do know, they have their way of applauding, because our applause, obviously you can hear that shit, but they wouldn't be able to hear it. So their way of like, let's say if you go, you on stage, you perform and then they love it, they would do something like this.
Yeah. Jazz hands.
I guess you could call it that, but yeah. But they do that though because that's their way of like applauding.
That,
It's their way of knowing, right? But one thing that is interesting though is whether you can hear or not, if something truly does strike somebody's fancy, everybody laughs. So like this means laughing.
Okay.
But if they can't help it, like because it was just so funny, it's just a natural human reaction to laugh. So people gonna laugh. So I thought that was so cool, whatever too.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, and I have like still to this day, if you could find this shit, but it's a collection of poems that me and some of my friends that could hear. We did a workshop with another high school that had deaf children.
Okay.
And we did a workshop where we had a collection of poems, and it was called Bridges. And because the whole thing was they wanted us to talk about like every poem doesn't talk about this, but the idea behind the title was a bridge between the hearing and
not
deaf.
hearing.
Yeah. And I just remember like we had like what was it? Bus Boys and Poets was the place in Washington D.C. where we had like our big like kickoff release party for the book and everything like that. And rest in peace to my high school teacher, but he like hooked it up for everybody. And it was to be 17 at the time and have an experience like that. It was really cool, man. It really was. And one of the highlights that I can remember was that people know you whether you realize they do or not. And I'm reading the program for, the way things are going to go. Like some kids are going to go up and give a poem solo. People are going to do it together. He's going to say this, she's going to say that. And it was going to be like reflection, like a reflection of like what this meant to you and how you did it and blah, blah, blah. And those words are going to be given by, and it was like, one of the students from the deaf school. And then the student from the hearing school that I was going to do it was me. And I found out that I was going to be given like, the reflection of how I felt and all that stuff in the program the day of as I'm reading the shit. And I remember I was reading, I was like, the hell? But I didn't contest to it, and that's why to this day I love the dude who hooked it up for us, because he knew, I guess even at that age, that I would be able to go off the cuff and give like my earnest feelings without knowing, and probably because of the fact, especially at that time, that I could procrastinate, it probably was better to not tell me in advance. Because then I probably would have bullshitted and not gotten it done. Oh, man. But, of course, as I was giving my reflections and stuff, I was just like, so I got to let y'all know, and I said this, too, on stage. I was like, I got to let y'all know that it's like, and he's laughing in the back. I was like, the reason I was like, I didn't know that I was going to give this stuff, and I found out when I was going to do this the same time y'all did right now. And the teacher was laughing. It was a lot of fun, though. Anyway. We went around the world, but we almost literally
went around the world and how can you find my baby? You don't remember that song?
No, I'm saying.
I don't know where, I don't know why. Why ain't go nowhere, and I don't know where they can be. My baby, and I'm gonna find you. Or whatever the hell she says.
Why you singing like an old woman with no teeth? I don't know.
Gotta dodge those copyright claims.
I remember this song back in my day.
Back in my day, I used to listen to that sound all around the world.
But it take my teeth out to get a little more comfortable. Take my bra off. Take off my shoes. Kick off my feet. Been around the world. How many women then said that one of the first things that they do when they get home is take the bra off? If she getting comfortable enough to take out the teeth, she gonna take off the shoes, probably take off the bra. That was the point. Don't make that face, motherfucker. I don't have titties, but I have had female friends and whatnot in the past, and that's what they said. Anyway, it's about that time. Why is it about that time?
Yeah, so you mentioned something about bridges and a thing you did in high school. That reminded me of a thing I did in high school in show choir. There was a song called Fences.
Is it a song or a show?
Song in show choir. Oh, no, it might have been concert choir. But bottom line is, yeah, it was concert choir. But either way, I was in both the same year, so I get the songs mixed up sometimes. But I don't remember having to do a dancing with this.
I said I knew Fences by August Wilson, so that's why I was like, huh? But anyway.
Oh, that's who did the song?
No. August Wilson is a very accomplished black playwright. Fences,
okay.
Fences,
Well,
it was like a play that he did years ago. James Earl Jones won a Tony for it. Viola Davis and Denzel Washington did the first film adaptation about 4 years ago. Some shit. Anyway.
Gotcha. Well, my thing isn't nearly as impressive as that. It's nor is it as important. It was just you said bridges and it reminded me of this song. So it.
Just say it's not nearly as important anyway.
Well, I mean, renowned black playwright with James Earl Jones and Angela Bassett or whoever else you said doing this movie, Viola Davis, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a song that I thought was silly just in high school. The idea of the song is, hopefully one day we can put down the borders between us and everyone can come together and be cool. But the low vocal parts in the song, at least the male low vocals are just like, the day the universe was born, mountains, stars, and stars were torn from the golden clock of time, and there were no fences. And it's just like, what the hell? And I forget what happened, but at the end, the last part is like, there shall be no fences. And I always just pictured some guy just hating fences and just going on a fucking tear, just setting all the wooden fences and picket fences and shit on fire, as he's singing this song or shit, just at the end, just standing looking at the burning hellscape around him. There shall be no fences.
Because it's like the song in and of itself is just so epic.
You can picture a guy standing on top of a building, arms out, as the world is just burning fences around him because he really fucking hates fences, and he's like, there shall be no fences. So I don't fucking know. Why make a song about it? Boundaries were not in the plan for sky and ocean, earth and man, Chaz. All right, freedoms only are to share when there are no fences.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
You got that joke.
Thumbs up. Anyway, it's that time of year, Jazz.
Oh, man.
To go back to your previous question, the point you were trying to make at the beginning. It's that time of year. It is American football season, or gridiron football season.
Right, not football, but football.
Yes. Not soccer, but football. Not association football, but gridiron football.
Wait, soccer? Wait, that was Katara's brother in Avatar.
It was. He was cool. All the chicks digged him. I mean, they did.
I mean, not all the chicks dug him, but he did have 2 girlfriends throughout the series.
He had 2 girlfriends. I think it was even hinted that Toph was into him as well.
I did not catch that. That might have been me just missing it, but I didn't catch that.
There was one of those times I think Kiyoshi saves Toph when she's in the water. She's like, "You saved me, Sokka! I knew you would do so. Actually, Kiyoshi. Oh, well, I'm just gonna go over here now. It's all right, okay. Anyway, bottom line is, sidetracking. It's football season, and I'm happy because that is the sport I watch the most of. You okay there, buddy?
My bad. I felt like I heard some noise behind me. I am listening to you.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Or you watch the most of. Yeah. Everything's good. My apologies.
That's the sport I watch the most of. However, unfortunately, my home team, or what used to be my home team, the St. Louis Rams, have long been gone.
They moved hundreds of thousands.
They've been gone, and fuck them, and fuck everything about them. Fuck everyone who ever plays for them.
Damn.
Going forward. Anyway.
Damn.
Well, it's like the Patriots. Don't act like this is new with me. So my dumbass decided when I needed a new team, I'm gonna root for the Panthers. Cam Newton's fun.
You know, talking about
stuff like that. You know, I got Panthers. You know, I went all in. Team sucks. Team's trash. Team's garbage. They're going like 4-13 this year, if that. That's me being optimistic, because Ibn likes to point out that I overreact to losses, and he's like, Jesus Christ, it's one game. But I saw all I needed to. We just got the Panthers just got humiliated by the Browns this past weekend. They only lost by 2. Yeah, to the Browns. Like I said, humiliated.
What's more humiliating? Losing to the Browns, or that dumbass logo that the Browns apparently about to get? I don't know if that was true or not. I saw something on Twitter, and it was like the Browns logo was gonna be some motherfucker. Like, it was just, let me see if I can pull this shit up.
Brownie the Elf. I've seen it.
Yeah, that's what
they're planning on putting in the middle of the field.
That's why I was like, I saw that. And again, as I always say, casual football fan. I'm not like super hard, go, love football. But I still like the game, and I like to see a good game from time to time. So I don't follow the shit super duper heavily as much as like you and Big Bro. But no, they had that Brownie the Elf shit, and they were like, this gonna be the logo. And I didn't know if it was a joke or not, but I was like, bro, please be joking, whoever put this shit up here. Because if they make that Brownie the Elf thing the logo, we gonna have to get used to that, because that the logo will more than likely still just remain the helmet. Now they might put that thing in the center of the film, but part of like, I think the reason that their logo is just an orange helmet, or that their helmets are just plain orange and nothing brown on them. One, because technically they're not named after the color, they're named after a coach. Right. And yeah. Two, I think it was rumored, at least, I'll say, because it's not like I looked that shit up. I heard it a while ago. But like one of the past owners on his deathbed was like, I want this logo to always be this. So they kind of try to honor that. Oh, okay.
But Brownie the Elf might be a thing in the middle of the field. It should be a fucking dog, because their fans are, called the Dog Pound or some shit like that. But apparently they only started doing that because they had random players on the sidelines in the 80s that on the defense that would like bark at each other randomly on the sidelines. Their defense just be on the sidelines like, so the crowd just embraced it, and they're like, we're the Dog Pound here, motherfucker. What did Washington change their name to? The Commies.
No, they didn't.
Technically, they changed their name to the Commanders.
However, I knew it wasn't that.
However, you have your Browns, or the Brownies. You got your assholes who shortened their name to Pats. You got the Buccaneers, they shortened it to Bucks. You got the 49ers, the people just call them Niners. You got your etc. I'm not going to go through every single team. Right.
Packers, people call them Pack sometimes.
The Pack or some shit, Some people call them assholes as well. Mostly Bears fans, and I get it. I would too.
The Seahawks, the Hawks, that's true.
Hawks, yeah. Falcons, the choke artists. Lots of things.
Funny how their name is longer. Anyway.
Saints, the Aints. Although I don't
think the people
that was more when they were losing a lot. Oh no, back before the Breeze era. That's what they were. That's how people referred to them, fan or otherwise. Because when you suck, when you're a team that sucks and you're used to that being the way, you don't shy away from that. You had that whole optimistic, we'll get them next year. But at the end of the day, you know what your team is, and it's not one of the chosen few that's allowed to ever win.
I get what you're saying though, because you're like, if everybody calls it like they shorten it, and then a lot of times put like E at the end of it, then if you're the Commanders.
The commies, which people started doing instantly the second that they called themselves the Commanders officially. Lots of people call them the commies. Apparently, I say apparently because I haven't seen a picture, but my roommate apparently was telling me at the game they actually had hats that were kind of Russian styled with the red and gold, with the like gold star in the center and the like red. And I'm like, yes, that's the other thing. They're a red and gold team whose nickname could be the commies. And apparently one of the slogans they decided to throw around possibly for the Commanders could be, power to the people. Now, again, I think that might have just been a joke that my roommate saw and thought and took as gospel, but at the same time, that might also be a thing. Because I could see Dan Snyder being like, you know what, fuck it. Y'all won't let me name my team what it had before. I'm going to name it this. Fuck y'all. But yeah, our nation's capital's team is nicknamed the Commies by a lot of people. Hilarious.
I do honestly like Commanders as a name for a team.
I don't. I think it's kind of eh.
I mean,
or better yet, I feel like it's a high school name. Like it's a high school team.
In the grand scheme of team names,
it's like Wildcats.
I was gonna say, in the grand scheme of team names, if we go over like NHL, MLB, NFL, and NBA, right, the main four. If we go over those, in the grand scheme of team names,
you'll find stupid names.
You got some stupid ass shit. So Commanders is like not that bad compared to dumbness. But the Islanders, like that's not terrible, but y'all could have done better than that.
Agreed. Then I said there are other stupid names that don't make Commanders right.
That's a fair point.
Like I said, Commanders is an okay team name, but if anything, it's like a high school tier team name, like Wildcats. That's what I expect. Which at least is a specific type of Wildcat. But yes, and also not even a team name anymore.
Oh, what they changed it to?
Back to being the Hornets.
Then what the fuck they changed it for in the first place?
They changed. Okay, so the Charlotte Hornets original franchise moved to New Orleans, right, where they were the New Orleans Hornets.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte got a team to replace it in the Charlotte Bobcats. Mm-hmm. However, eventually, when Michael Jordan came to owning it and some other stuff happened, eventually Charlotte got to rename their team, the Bobcats. They got to rename it the Charlotte Hornets, and New Orleans became the Pelicans.
I did know that. I knew that they got the Pelicans, and I knew there was the Bobcats, and I knew the Bobcats was like original Hornets. I didn't know they went back, became the Hornets again, and stopped being the Bobcats. So I knew all of that. I just didn't know about the name going back. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like, which is the nature of the show, that we went like well off into a whole different like tangent about whatever, and I feel like the original point that you were trying to make never got made, or maybe it did. I don't know.
I was just talking about football season. I'm not tripping.
Oh no, I know you're not tripping. I just like I thought that we didn't even like. I thought you didn't even finish what you were saying.
Oh, I mean no, but I mean that's what we do.
Right.
Shit. What was I trying to talk about? My bad.
But ain't no big deal. This is the point of the show.
But yeah, the Commanders is just like I don't see it as an NFL team name. Hell, I would have rather they stuck with the Washington football team, in all honesty, than that.
You can't be the Washington football team for like 20, 30, 40 more fucking years.
Why not? If you're the only team named the football team, why not?
No, because then we'd be sitting here in our 60s, 70s, 80s, sitting here, I'm like, y'all, be creative, though. It could be the fucking St. Louis. It could be the Los Angeles, the blank football. Come on, man.
We got used to it, though. Right, that's all I'm saying is we got used to it. And I'd rather they would have just stuck with it. Just own it, and that's who you are. That's all I'm saying.
Some like What's some big like famous thing that happened in Washington, like a historical like moment, and then you could make it like 19 whatever, and they could be the 76ers and the 49ers, and they could have done that. Like, what's a big thing that happened there?
I don't know. It's only the nation's capital. I'm sure they could think of something.
Well, see, no, because you can't say 1776.
Obviously, they weren't. The White House wasn't there in 1776.
So I'm saying, like,
but the bottom line is they could think of something. Hell, call them the fucking Dreamers. I don't fucking know. You had to fucking no, that wasn't in Washington. My bad.
Were you gonna say I have a dream?
Yeah, where was that?
That was Washington. That was like on the fucking like mall.
It was okay.
In front of the monument. No, it wasn't on the mall, but it was in front of the monument.
Yeah. There you go, the Dreamers.
Well,
because you had to. I made a dream or whatever. I had a dream.
If they just stopped calling them the blank blanks, because I don't even want to say that shit because it's so contentious. But they just stopped calling them that, which had been racist for so long, and now they have a name that could be shortened to commies. I don't think they would have gone so far left and been like named after something that one of the biggest civil rights leaders of all time did about equality. I don't know if they could have done.
They probably should have.
They should have. Yes.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying they shouldn't have gone to Commanders in the first place. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Either leave it at football team or pick a different name than Commanders. Now, okay. Part of the problem, even fucking Al Michaels was on, I think, the Manning cast, and he mentioned, like, they don't know about Commanders, because, you know, it happens with every team. They shorten the names, and red and gold team, whose name could easily be shortened to... You're setting yourself up for something. That's all he was saying.
Why not just call them the Durs? I'm joking.
Because that's stupid, Jess.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
More way than one.
100%. Like 100%. But no, I commend. I don't think. I mean, shit. The football team is the fucking Nationals. Commanders ain't too much worse than that.
What team?
I mean, the baseball team is the fucking Nationals.
Yeah, I didn't like the Nationals either. I forget what they were before they were the Nationals, but I didn't like that either. So I can agree that other stupid names exist.
Which is, well, okay, in your opinion.
Cleveland changed their name from what it was to the Guardians, the baseball team, because their name... was in a similar vein to Washington, although I feel like if Washington took its original football team name and traded mascots with Cleveland, who had their okay, so Washington's name was terrible, right? Yeah. Their mascot terrible depending on who you ask. Some people, I'm not gonna lie, growing up, I'm an idiot, so calm down, people at home. But growing up, I did not think Native American when I heard that name. I thought it was like something to do with football. So I was like, why is that their team name? I was dumb. It wasn't until high school that I even realized that that's what they were talking about. And even then I was like, okay. Then again, we've mentioned it before. I'm a weirdo. I'm the motherfucker that made a football team and called it the Niggerville Niggas. So who am I to say anything about anybody's team name being offensive? So
we spoke about this on a previous episode.
That's why I said it.
No, I'm saying for people who don't know, we spoke about this on a previous episode, and back when we used to play Madden, him and my brother, he very much did. So that's not just him throwing that out there. Yes, he did.
Yes. So. Okay. There you go. I'm a weirdo. Whatever. Kill me. Please don't. But I know what you're saying. I know you guys probably want to because I said, I wasn't that offended by the Washington. It's the internet in 2020. If you're not offended, you're the worst person on the fucking planet.
It's just the way you said it.
That's all I was saying. Again, that's what they want. They team had their own ways of doing it. Anyway, bottom line is, I didn't think it was that bad. However, if that team had the Cleveland team's mascot, then
a million times worse. Yes.
Chief Wahoo?
That was his name?
Yes, his name was Chief Wahoo. Now, you put that on the Washington team, then you have, even I would be like, okay. Come on now. But they had for all intents and purposes, the logo for that team wasn't really like negative, or wasn't blatantly negative.
It wasn't caricature.
Yeah, it wasn't a caricature. It was like, here's a noble tribesman.
It was just the fact to have that.
And the Cleveland team had the less offensive name. Obviously, yes, it's still offensive. That's all you have to say, Native Americans. Calm down. But they had the less offensive name.
Bruh, you motherfucking shit.
But they had Chief Wahoo.
Listen to two. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. But they had Chief fucking Wahoo.
Get that racist shit. That'd be like saying St. Louis just got a football team. Oh, who's it called? It's the St. Louis Porch Monkeys. Like, bitch, get the fuck out of here.
The Minnesota Moon Crickets.
I ain't heard that one and I don't know how that be alone. Oh, yo.
The Georgetown Chicken Boots. I'm done.
Not with you and your alliteration, though. Oh, shit. Yo. Oh, the Kansas City cool. This is so bad. Oh God! Yeah. And then the fucking, but that'd be like calling it that, and then the mascot is like fucking like Bojangles or some shit. No. And with all respect to the actor who played him, because the actor who played the character I'm about to say, the character didn't even have anything to do with this. But for the sake of the joke, the actor who played him, great fucking dude. I've loved the roles he's played. I'm not just saying this to disclaim, I really do. But that would be like calling it what we said, and then the mascot is fucking Cheeseburger Eddie from The Longest Yard. Terry Crews' character, for those who don't know.
Gotcha. I don't know which one. But
yeah.
Okay, fair.
So that'd be like the mascot being his ass. It'd be like, bruh. So it's St. Louis Porch Monkeys, and the fucking mascot is Cheeseburger Eddie, and he pulling the fucking cheeseburger out of his crap.
So no, they didn't do that. They went with the comics, and that's what we got now. So anyway, so it's football season. I said, it's a mixed bag of emotions of happy and sad. Happy because happy because I what did I do? Oh, I like watching football. Sad because my team sucks and they're gonna lose all year. I don't see where the light at the end of the tunnel is. Like, the only person I've heard say anything positive about the Panthers' outcome is Skip Bayless, and he's a guy who thinks LeBron James is bad at basketball.
Well, Skip Bayless is a fucking character. I don't think that Skip Bayless...
Oh, no. He thinks the Panthers are going to make it to the playoffs because we have Baker Mayfield as our quarterback. Who's Baker Mayfield, Jazz? Baker Mayfield is a quarterback who was so bad the Browns didn't want him.
I wish my motherfucking name would be Baker Mayfield. We made all the jokes about this and that. That sounds like the name of somebody who owns a plantation. we tried to move on. Let me stop. Wow, this Mayfield plantation. You gotta talk to Papa Baker.
Don't want to go up there. That's Baker Mayfield's place.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, bottom line is Baker Mayfield sucks. He dropped like 7 snaps. He's a quarterback, by the way. He dropped 7 balls, like just hiking the ball. He dropped it like 7 times.
Whoops!
Yeah, that happened like 7 times.
Benny Hill music.
Yeah, he threw an interception. He fumbled. He had 2 good passes. I'll give him that. He had 2 good passes, and we only, like I said, we lost the game by 2. So some people would be like, "That's not humiliating." I'm saying it is because we lost to a team whose quarterback has been suspended for 11 games because he really likes his happy endings and he's an asshole.
When you say happy ending, you mean?
If someone gets a massage,
That's what I thought.
There's a rumor that, certain massage parlors around the country add on a little bit extra to the areas that they're massaging at the end, and you would feel better than you did before you go. It's a good way to finish the massage thing.
Places do that shit. But I get what you mean.
Well, do they really? Because Deshaun Watson sure tell thought they did, and he's now known as, a sexual predator. So
you can just outright say, "Hey, can you put your hands up?" No, you have to be like, and if let them offer. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just saying you would have to be like, let them offer.
Okay, I'm not here to split hairs. I already said the guy's an asshole, so leave me alone, people at home. I said he's an asshole. Y'all take up your issue with him. He's the one who went out there doing that. I ain't even been to a massage parlor. Even though people tell me I should because I'm in pain all the time. But hell
honestly,
no.
That's honestly a good point.
But nah.
You should get a fucking massage from like an actual person.
Especially not now. Especially not now.
Why?
Because while I wouldn't ask for a happy ending, I don't want to put myself in the situation where someone can tell other people that, hey, yeah, that guy, when I gave him his massage, you believe this motherfucker asked me for a happy ending? Sexual predator? Nah, I ain't letting that happen to me. I ain't putting myself in the situation. I'm not calling those women liars. They could all be telling the truth.
I know you're not.
I'm not putting myself in the situation to be accused.
I get what you're saying, but bitch, if you don't go find a goddamn masseuse and massage all your fucking my wrist pops if I just do this looking ass.
I can get a massage from my girlfriend.
Talking about somebody who went to school and got trained in the art of how to massage.
I can date a girl that went to school for massagery.
Okay, then do it then.
Okay. Maybe.
Do it then. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I could also take ibuprofen. I don't do that either.
Yeah, but ibuprofen massages you from the inside out. I mean the outside in.
Bottom line is, there's other things to do than go to a massage parlor. I don't care how much pain you're in. And also, if you do go, don't fucking ask for a happy ending, you fucking jackass.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like,
like I said, I would never ask for one. However, I'm also not putting myself in the position where someone could say that I did.
I get what you mean.
That's all. Because I don't need that in my life.
So get to hanging around massage schools, talk up some of these women, find the love of your life. There you go.
Well, so you make it. Or maybe not a massage school, but just find someone who's already graduated. Yes.
Do it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So you're gonna make it happen. Make it happen. I expect the results in 2 weeks.
I'll have a result for you, all right.
No,
it won't be a positive.
I was about to say I expect positive results.
It won't be a positive result.
As in, hey, we've been dating for about a week now and going on at least 2 dates type results.
Oh, so go find somebody tomorrow so that 2 weeks from now I can tell you that I've been dating someone for 2 weeks.
I said within 2 weeks you've been dating for a week. So you got a week to scout, and within the 14 days, you better have 7 days of like positive results.
That ain't happening. I ain't got that kind of free time.
almost spit this shit up there. How quickly, like just flatly, that ain't happening. Like,
I'm being honest, man. I've worked nights now.
Same.
So that's even less free time for that kind of stuff. Also, I don't want to go through all the fucking drama and having even less money than I do now just so I can have massages. Like, I don't need that.
Shit up for the
no, I'm saying.
Into it, you dumb. I know. I'm joking.
Well, my thing was more. You don't need to go to a massage parlor. If people can, cool.
I got what you get.
But yeah, that's why I was saying. I'm like, oh, you don't have a girlfriend. Congrats.
We're not about to go in circles.
Oh.
What laugh was that?
But yeah, and again, because we went on all this tangents, I do want to remind people, yes, Deshaun Watson, asshole. Okay? I'm saying it. Just because I went on this tangent, I went on this tangent about happy endings doesn't make him any less of an asshole. Asshole. Okay? There we go.
You better say something.
Yeah. So we lost to a team who didn't even have a quarterback didn't even have their starting quarterback. And we lost. Like, it did not look good. It was an ugly loss. I don't care how few points it was a loss by. If you watched the same first half I did, you'd understand just how ugly that loss was. And that's the Browns. And then we got, 15 more games to go. I don't know how many teams we're going to be playing that don't even have their whole starting roster for the rest of the season. But if we couldn't even beat the Browns without their starter, it don't look good. But I did say we'll go like 4-13 because fluke wins do happen. Okay, there's my optimists.
You think they're going to be that shitty that they only going to get 4 wins?
You can't beat the fucking Cleveland Browns with Jacoby Brisket throwing the fucking ball.
To be fair, though, again, like I said, I don't keep up with the stuff like you, so I don't know stats and everything going into the season. But to be fair, wasn't this just like game 1?
Yes. I didn't say we're going over.
Yeah, but still, like, game 1, my dude? Shit.
Yeah.
And you already saying they gonna fucking only win 4?
Our starting quarterback. Okay, our starting quarterback is a guy who was so bad the Browns didn't want him. The Browns. And the worst part is, Jazz, he's the only motherfucker to take those bitches to the playoffs in the past, 15, 20 years. And he still wasn't good enough to keep.
Yeah, dude. Right.
He still wasn't good enough to keep. And even if he does shit the bed for these next couple weeks while Sam fucking Darnold gets healed up from whatever injury he has, his replacement would be Sam fucking Darnold. Well, Sam Darnold sucks too.
Every time you bring his name up, you just speak it with such disdain.
Well, yes, because he's bad. Former Jets player, a guy who was not good enough, much like Baker was not good enough for the Browns. Sam Darnold wasn't even good enough for the fucking Jets.
This is an episode that we need Ibn on, so both of y'all can just yell at each other and get pissed about the conversation.
Sam Darnold,
and I'll just be here clueless.
Sam Darnold is why I will always continue to say that when you're a Jet all the way, and he's proved it by shitting the bed last year, and if he comes back this year, he'll shit the bed again. Our owner, rather than keep the franchise's best quarterback that they had, and the whole reason I ended up rooting for this team in the first place, rather than keep him, he's like, I'm a new owner. I'm going to fire Cam Newton, and I'm going to start getting quarterbacks who did nothing but fail everywhere else they went. What? Cam Newton took you to a fucking Super Bowl, you dumbass. No, let's get the guy who's not doing good on the Jets. Let's get the guy who's not doing good on the Browns. What? Get somebody good.
What team is Cam Newton playing for now?
Nobody.
Really?
Really?
How old is he?
Younger than me.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't that old. Like, damn.
Well, you got the jackass in Tampa who's 50, so age shouldn't be a problem.
He is like, he's not straight up at the end, is he?
He's 45.
Like 40. Okay, yeah. But still.
Yeah.
But still. Because 45 in football, you might as well be 80. So.
Not with him, apparently. But I guess that's what happens when no one ever hits you.
They change rules to fit so that way nobody will hit you.
I hope someone walks up and punches him in the face.
Call the fuck down!
Bottom line is,
Tom Brady, chill. The one person that you speak with the most disdain every time when we talk about the NFL, talk about you speak Sam Darnold's name with such disdain. There's one person that you speak with the most disdain.
Oh, yeah. No, Sam Darnold's a fucking saint compared. Like, that's not even a thing. I wouldn't have a problem with Sam Darnold if we didn't boot out Cam Newton for him.
You said you hope somebody walks up and punches him in the face?
Yes!
That man did nothing to no one.
Oh, he's done a lot.
He's
Bottom line is,
fucking bitch.
He's done a lot.
I don't want nobody to punch the man in the mouth.
I do.
What
I didn't say I wanted them to kill him.
I know.
Said punch him in the face. That happens on the football field. People get mad. Fucking Miles Garrett took off a man's head and beat him with it. Aaron Donald took off 2 helmets and started dual wielding them in a practice this year. Someone can punch him in the face. I'm not telling someone to beat him to death with his own helmet.
They get ejected when they do that shit too, because you shouldn't do that shit.
Well, worth.
If you were to fucking if the Washington football team was to go against the fucking Brownie the Elves and they were to play each other, and then a motherfucker was to just uppercut somebody so they could fumble, then the uppercut, fucking fatality, that motherfucker is getting ejected. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And everybody in the stands watching that shit would be like, boo, because they'd be like, what you're doing.
What are you uppercutting the commies for? They ain't do nothing. Who are they a threat to? Now, if you're at an away, if number 12 is at an away game and somebody punches that dude in the face, the crowd will lose their shit.
They're going to boo.
Not for number 12. Because of the number 12s. Because Throw Rogan ain't got a lot of fans either. Throw
Rogan?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Ever since he agreed with Joe Rogan about vaccines, he's become like one of the most hated people in football. Because, Joe Rogan, once you talk Joe Rogan, you go full MAGA and, the racist and all that other shit.
Discount but don't double check? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was bad.
But yeah, Throw Rogan is what some people have started calling him. Yeah, like if someone from the Bears walks up and uppercuts Throw Rogan, you don't think that Chicago audience is gonna cheer?
You still don't walk up and punch a motherfucker on the football field. Period. Whoever it is.
I can still hope. Bottom line is,
fucking hit him to sound like Street Fighter.
It's gonna be a hard season. I'm gonna have to hope that, I'm gonna have to live vicariously through one of my friends' teams and hope that they get to break the curse. Because, like I said, my friends and I, we all are cursed with picking bad teams to root for.
Do you and Ibn ever bet on these games and shit?
Nah, I ain't got that kind of money to keep losing to Ibn.
I'm talking about bet $1 or some shit. Just bet to bet.
Nah, I haven't. But Ibn did the smart thing. He picked a good team. He doesn't have to have shitty seasons ever again.
What team?
The Chiefs.
Oh, well, he picked the home state team because the hometown team is gone.
Yeah, and like I said, he's cool. He'll never have a bad season again for the rest of his life because they got fucking Patrick Mahomes. Lucky him. He seems to forget what having a bad team is like and be like, well, yes, you have optimism. No, there's no optimism when you know your team is bad because you've seen it for the past 20 years.
you could have picked you could have picked two different home state teams, three different really, but one clearly is out the question. But so you could have picked two different home state teams because you got Missouri and you got Florida. But obviously, you could have either done the Chiefs or you could have done the Dolphins, but yeah. Or you could have done a team that ain't no way in hell you would
All
pick.
right, so Chiefs. Thought about it, was like, nah, I spent the majority of my life not really liking the Chiefs. It would feel weird to start rooting for them now. Not that I ever hated them, but it would have felt weird to just start rooting for them. Also, this was still pre-Mahomes. They were still just kind of mediocre. Like, they were starting to get to the playoffs, but they weren't doing anything when they got there. It was like same old for the Chiefs. And my idea was, I'm not trying to... So, when I picked a new team, my goal was, one, not to pick a bandwagony team that everybody in America, regardless if they from that city or not, roots for all the time. Like, Cowboys have too many fans, Packers have too many fans, Steelers have too many fans, the assholes have too many fans. I wasn't going to root for them anyway, the team in New England, for you people at home. So those are teams like that I wasn't going to root for regardless. Then I also didn't want to root for a team, because having just rooted for a team that went 13 years without even having a 50% win rate for a single season, because that's the Rams' last 13 years in St. Louis, by the way. Doing that, like, rather than root for a team that was like that, I was like, you know what? The Panthers are decent. Cam Newton's fun. This team looks like they're having fun. Sure, they just lost the Super Bowl, but hey, I can actually have optimism about my team again if I root for them. Also, they, like the St. Louis Rams, got screwed over by the Patriots when they cheated in the Super Bowl. So that whole hatred gets to stay as inflamed as possible, because I can still have the same reason for hating them. As well as, you know, they're just being an overall shitty team and shitty people. But as far as Kansas City, like I said, I was on the Chiefs, and I felt like their short-lived period of mediocrity was about to go back to being same old Chiefs. And I'm like, I don't want to just suffer for that. I'm not even still in Missouri. So what teams do we got in Florida? The Buccaneers. Okay, Buccaneers, but maybe. Dolphins, good team. And I have a friend that's a Dolphins fan, and I just said what I said about not wanting to root for a team where they weren't going to win anytime soon, and they still haven't. They have a better chance than any other team that my friends root for this year, but the bottom line is that's still 5 years later. That's 5 years of disappointing seasons and being exactly where I am with the Panthers. The Jaguars, no.
I forgot about the Jaguars.
Just no. Like, I like Jaguars as an animal, but they're right down there with the Lions, and I guess the Panthers too, and teams, any other team named after a cat, where they're just never going to do anything good. And I guess I should have realized that before being a Panthers fan.
What are the NFL teams named after the cats? Like you said, the Jaguars,
Panthers, Lions, Bengals.
Bengal, that's right. Bengals a tiger race. Like,
and yes, the Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year, but much like with Cam, Joe Burrow lost his first Super Bowl appearance. He ain't going back.
What
he ain't never going back again. That was his one shot to break the city's curse.
Are those the only four, like the only cat names?
Let's see.
In the NFL?
Let's see. AFC North, you got Steelers, Ravens, Browns. Who else is in the North? Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Bengals. Okay. So Bengals, AFC South, you got Jaguars, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, no. All right. AFC South. Oh, that was the Jaguars. AFC East, you got... Wait, no. Jaguars is with the Colts. AFC South is Jaguars, Colts, Titans.
I think that's it.
No, Jaguars, Colts, Titans, Texans is AFC South. AFC East has Patriots, Jets, Eagles, Bills. So no cat teams there. AFC West, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. So no. NFC South, Panthers. NFC East, none. NFC North, Lions. NFC West, none. So yeah, those four.
Yeah, okay. And I real quick too, I'm gonna say I forgot, speaking of like corny names, but it's like it is what it is by this point. The fucking Texans. I forgot about that stupid shit.
Houston, Texas. Well, the Oilers moved to Tennessee.
Y'all couldn't think of a fucking better name than the Texans. But anyway, a rose by any other name would possibly smell as sweet. So if you want to follow us where we may have other names throughout our social media, then you can go ahead and follow yours truly. First off, I am an MC. I get my rap on from time to time. So if you want to try out my last music outing, go ahead anywhere you stream your music and type in the name of my debut solo album, My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Superjaz, my secret identity, since I'm not so famous yet. And Superjaz is spelled Superjaz. Of course, also, you can go ahead and find me on Twitter under the handle Superjaz2, which would be Superjaz number 2. And of course, you can find and follow me on Instagram under the name Forever Superjaz, the word forever spelled correctly. And look me up on YouTube. Go ahead and find some of my music videos under Superjaz. Where can I find you?
Well, first of all, you can find me here every week, every Wednesday on the Whatever We Want podcast. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube under feogrande. That is Feo Grande. Got some stuff over there where I talk about like movies and stuff like that with my good friend Bill Smith with a show like This Guy Hasn't Seen. Got its own. It's a routine and ongoing show now, kind of like this, and it's awesome. Also have some stuff over there with Jazz as well. I'm also on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in. Stop on by.
And of course, as we do this show every Wednesday on the same channel, the first Sunday of every month, we got a wrestling podcast that you can tune into where we talk about all the previous excursions that happened in wrestling the month before. And that is the first Sunday on this same channel. Something tells me that this Sunday, if you keep up with wrestling, we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
The one.
I mean, not this Sunday, but the Sunday coming up, first Sunday in October. We're gonna have a lot to talk about for what went on this September.
Some of these wrestling storylines is crazy.
That's a different story. 2022, if you follow wrestling, 2022 has been a crazy ass year. All that being said, whether it be about football and the lack of my knowledge thereof, whether it be about which languages may be hard to learn or not, or whatever it may be about, you would think after almost 80 goddamn episodes I would know, but maybe you could help me, man. Fuck are we gonna talk about next time?
Whatever we want.
Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adios.